world is teeming with individuals who constantly seek pleasure, excitement, and novelty. They crave experiences that will provoke laughter or tears, but show little interest in cultivating strength, stability, and power. Instead, they often engage in behaviors that weaken them and squander whatever power they possess. Those who truly wield power and influence are rare, because few are willing to make the necessary sacrifices to acquire such power. Even fewer are patient enough to build the character required for true strength. Being controlled by one's fluctuating thoughts and impulses is a sign of weakness. To be strong and powerful, one must learn to control and direct these internal forces. While a person with strong animal passions may display a certain ferocity, this is not true power. The potential for power exists within such ferocity, but it only becomes real power when it is tamed and directed by higher intelligence. True growth in power occurs when individuals awaken to higher levels of intelligence and consciousness. The difference between a weak person and one of power does not lie in the strength of their willpower alone. Stubbornness, often seen in the weak, is not a sign of true strength. Instead, power is found in the focus of consciousness that reflects one's level of knowledge and understanding. Those who seek pleasure, excitement, and novelty, and who are easily swayed by their impulses, lack the understanding of principles that provide balance, stability, and influence. A person begins to develop real power when they learn to check their impulses and selfish inclinations, turning instead to the higher and calmer consciousness within themselves. By grounding themselves in unchanging principles, they tap into the source and secret of the highest power. When, after much searching, suffering, and sacrifice, a person discovers an eternal principle, a deep, divine calm settles within them, bringing a joy that is beyond words. Once a person has realized such a principle, they no longer wander aimlessly through life. They become poised, self-possessed, and no longer a slave to their passions. Instead, they become a master builder in the temple of destiny, shaping their life and future with intention and purpose. On the other hand, a person who is governed by selfish desires rather than principles is easily swayed when their personal comforts are threatened. Such a person is constantly scheming to protect themselves from perceived enemies, failing to realize that they are their own worst enemy. Work built on selfishness and disconnected from truth and power will eventually crumble. Only efforts grounded in an indestructible principle will endure. A person who stands firmly on a principle remains calm, dauntless, and self-possessed, regardless of the circumstances. When faced with a choice between personal comfort and truth, they will choose truth, even at the cost of their own comfort. The prospect of torture or death cannot deter them, as they see the loss of wealth, comfort, or life as insignificant compared to the loss of character and truth. To them, abandoning truth is the only true calamity. It is in moments of crisis that the true nature of individuals is revealed. Times of disaster, ruin, and persecution separate the weak from the strong, and it is during these times that men and women of power emerge. It is easy for someone to profess their belief in principles like peace, brotherhood, and universal love when everything is going well. However, if, when their enjoyments are threatened, they abandon these principles and clamor for war, they reveal their true allegiance to strife, selfishness, and hatred. The person who does not abandon their principles, even when faced with the loss of everything, including reputation and life, is a person of power. Their words and actions endure, and they are honored and revered by future generations. Such individuals, like Jesus, who endured the utmost agony and deprivation rather than desert the principle of divine love, become figures of adoration and worship throughout history. Spiritual power can only be acquired through inward illumination and enlightenment, which comes from the realization of spiritual principles. These principles can only be realized through constant practice and application. For example, one can take the principle of divine love and diligently meditate on it to achieve a thorough understanding. By examining all their habits, actions, speech, and thoughts under the light of this principle, a person can gradually reveal more of the divine love within themselves. This process also highlights their shortcomings, spurring them on to greater efforts to align with the principle. Once they have caught a glimpse of the majesty of this imperishable principle, they will no longer be content with their weaknesses, selfishness, or imperfections. Instead, they will pursue this love until they have relinquished every discordant element and achieved perfect harmony with it. This state of inward harmony is spiritual power, Other spiritual principles, such as purity and compassion, should be approached in the same way. Truth is demanding, and there can be no rest until one's soul is free of every stain, and their heart is incapable of any hard, condemnatory, or pitiless impulse. Spiritual power is acquired only to the extent that one understands, realizes, and relies upon these principles. This power will manifest in the form of increasing dispassion, patience, and equanimity. Dispassion indicates superior self-control. Sublime patience is the hallmark of divine knowledge, and maintaining an unbroken calm amid all the distractions of life distinguishes the person of power. Some mystics believe that perfection in dispassion is the source of the power by which miracles are performed. Indeed, someone who has gained such perfect control of their interior forces that no shock can unbalance them must be capable of guiding and directing those forces with mastery. To grow in self-control, patience, and equanimity is to grow in strength and power. This growth can only occur by focusing one's consciousness on a principle. Just as a child, after many attempts, finally learns to walk unaided, so too must one enter the way of power by first attempting to stand alone. Breaking free from the tyranny of custom, tradition, and the opinions of others is necessary until one can walk erect among people, relying on their own judgment and being true to their conscience. The light within oneself should be followed, as all outward lights are mere distractions. There will be those who criticize, claiming that one's judgment is faulty or that the light within is darkness, but these criticisms should be ignored. If there is any truth to such claims, the seeker will discover it on their own by testing their powers. Therefore, one should pursue their course bravely, knowing that following one's conscience is the path to becoming a person of power, while following the conscience of another leads to slavery. The journey will involve many falls, wounds, and challenges, but one must press on with faith, believing that victory lies ahead. Search for a rock, a principle, and once found, cling to it. Stand firm upon it until you can withstand the storms of selfishness. Selfishness, in any form, leads to dissipation, weakness, and death, while unselfishness, in its spiritual aspect, leads to conservation, power, and life. As one grows in spiritual life and becomes established upon principles, they will become as unchanging as those principles themselves. They will experience the sweetness of their immortal essence and realize the eternal and indestructible nature of the divine within. No harmful force can reach the righteous person, who stands firm amid the storms of hate. Majestic in their silent power, they remain serene, unchanged, and undeterred by suffering. Time bends to them, and they defy death and doom. Surrounded by the forces of darkness, they remain unmoved, sheltered by deathless love, and armored in changeless truth. For such a person, loss and gain are insignificant, as they know eternity. They stand unmoved while the shadows of the world come and go, embodying immortality, truth, and light, and radiating the splendor of divine majesty. Principles serve as the foundation for a meaningful and powerful life, acting as the stable core around which all thoughts, actions, and decisions are centered. Without these guiding values, life can quickly devolve into chaos, driven by momentary desires and the influences of others. When individuals lack a firm set of principles, they are like ships adrift in the ocean, tossed by the waves of impulse and circumstance. However, when one establishes clear principles, these values provide a compass, offering direction and purpose even in the most complex situations. Living by principles instills a sense of consistency in one's actions and decisions, aligning them with the true self. This alignment fosters inner peace, as it eliminates the internal conflict that often arises from trying to satisfy contradictory desires or succumbing to external pressures. The cultivation of inner strength is closely tied to the practice of discipline. Discipline is not merely about self-denial or rigid adherence to rules. Rather, it is the consistent effort to live in accordance with one's principles, even when doing so is challenging. Discipline requires a great deal of self-control, as it involves the ability to resist immediate gratification in favor of long-term goals and values. Through discipline, individuals learn to master their impulses and emotions, gaining the power to make choices that reflect their deeper intentions rather than their fleeting whims. One practical approach to building discipline is to start with small, manageable goals that require a certain degree of self-control. For instance, Committing to waking up early each morning, dedicating time to meditation, or practicing mindfulness in daily activities are simple yet effective ways to strengthen discipline. Over time, as these small acts of discipline become habitual, they contribute to the development of a stronger will and greater inner stability. As discipline becomes more ingrained, it becomes easier to resist temptations and distractions, allowing one to focus on what truly matters. As individuals grow in discipline and self-control, they begin to experience a shift in how they perceive and interact with the world. No longer driven by the immediate satisfaction of desires, they start to see the bigger picture and understand the importance of long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. This shift in perspective is a key element in the development of inner strength and power. With this newfound clarity, individuals are better equipped to make decisions that align with their principles, leading to a more focused and purposeful life. In addition to discipline, the cultivation of patience plays a vital role in building inner strength. Patience is the ability to endure difficulties, delays, or frustrations without becoming anxious or upset. It is a crucial quality for anyone seeking to live by principles, as it allows them to remain steadfast in the face of challenges. Patience is not merely the ability to wait, but the ability to maintain a calm and composed state of mind while waiting. It is about trusting the process and having faith that the efforts invested in living by principles will eventually yield positive results. Patience also involves a deep understanding that growth and transformation take time. Just as a tree does not bear fruit immediately after it is planted, the fruits of living by principles may not be evident right away. However, with patience, one can persevere through the inevitable setbacks and difficulties, confident that they are on the right path. This patience, combined with discipline, creates a powerful synergy that enables individuals to stay true to their principles even in the most trying circumstances. Another essential aspect of developing inner strength is the ability to remain calm and composed in the face of adversity. Life is full of unexpected challenges and disruptions, and it is during these moments that one's true character is revealed. The ability to maintain an unbroken calm amid chaos is a hallmark of inner strength. This calmness is not a sign of indifference or detachment, but rather a reflection of deep inner stability and confidence in one's principles. To cultivate this calmness, it is important to practice mindfulness and meditation regularly. These practices help to quiet the mind and develop a greater awareness of one's thoughts and emotions. By observing the mind without judgment, individuals can learn to respond to situations with clarity and wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. Over time, this practice leads to a state of equanimity where one remains centered and balanced regardless of external circumstances. In addition to mindfulness, it is also important to develop a strong sense of self-reliance. This involves trusting in one's own judgment and being true to one's conscience, even when others may disagree or criticize. Self-reliance does not mean isolating oneself from others or refusing to seek advice, but rather having the confidence to follow one's own path and make decisions based on one's own principles. This confidence is essential for maintaining inner strength, as it allows individuals to stand firm in their beliefs, even when faced with opposition. The journey to inner strength and power is not an easy one, and it requires a great deal of perseverance and resilience. There will be moments of doubt, setbacks, and challenges that test one's commitment to their principles. However, it is through these trials that true strength is forged. Each challenge presents an opportunity to deepen one's understanding of their principles and to strengthen their resolve. By facing these challenges with courage and determination, individuals can transform them into stepping stones on the path to greater power and fulfillment. Moreover, the development of inner strength is a lifelong process. It is not something that can be achieved overnight, but rather a continuous journey of growth and self-discovery. Along the way, it is important to remain open to learning and evolving, as each new experience provides valuable lessons that contribute to one's overall development. This openness to growth is a key component of inner strength, as it allows individuals to adapt to changing circumstances while staying true to their core principles. Finally, it is important to recognize that the pursuit of inner strength and power is not a solitary endeavor. While self-reliance is crucial, the support and guidance of others can also play a significant role in one's journey. Surrounding oneself with like-minded individuals who share similar values and principles can provide encouragement, inspiration, and accountability. Engaging in meaningful conversations, sharing experiences, and learning from others can help to reinforce one's commitment to their principles and provide valuable insights along the way. In conclusion, the path to inner strength and power is one that requires a deep commitment to living by principles, coupled with the practice of discipline, patience, and self-reliance. It involves a continuous process of self-reflection, growth, and learning, as well as the ability to remain calm and composed in the face of adversity. By staying true to one's principles and persevering through the challenges, individuals can cultivate a deep inner strength that not only empowers them to live a meaningful and purposeful life, but also allows them to influence and inspire others. This journey is not easy, but the rewards are profound, as it leads to a life of true fulfillment, stability, and enduring power. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more videos.